we on that part too. Shout out Bionic, Black Silver. Shout out to Ice-T and my man Bad Drew. Let's get into this.
I decided like to ask Sylv. I'm like, yo, can you get Ice to do the drops so I can, get some radio. Radio's gonna. He's on the radio. Short is on the radio. So this is one of those times where we probably should get radio support. So I'm talking to him. He's like, yeah, I'll see. Ice is busy. Yada yada. Yada. But I'll talk to him. Cool. Ice makes himself available. He comes to the studio. We had a little studio. Bionic had a studio right on, I believe that's Hyde Park. There's a fire station, an old fire station right there. Brick building. It used to be a fire station.
Okay.
Right on the corner of like Hyde Park and something across the street from elementary school in the 60s. So we're like non-gang bangery dudes creeping out Bentleys and Benzes and whatever Ice is coming in, trying to slide in there, and do our work and get out of there.
Bro, this nigga Ice drove a cran apple, what the fuck was it? Cran apple cherry red Bentley from New York to LA and pulled into the studio spot in the motherfucker. Like, nigga did a cross country trek on some wild shit in a fucking Bentley painted like a 6'4".
So without causing issues. So we're in there and Ice decides to come through and lay the drops. Like, cool. So like he said, he's in there. It's Ice. Coco is in the other room. She's not in there with us at all. She's in the other room. We're in the studio area because I remember that was my first.
Shout out to Coco too. She was cool as fuck. Like, yeah, Coco was cool as hell on some super down to earth ass shit. Like, she's super.
My first time seeing Coco in person.
What was that like?
Bro, I like to preface this by saying I love black women. I always have loved black women, and I intend to be with the black woman until I die. But man, that is a fine white human.
Okay.
It was like not realistic. How certain people you meet them and it's like, I see a lot of people, this is not a realistic person, but not into going to, my brother's life like that. But
much respect,
I'm younger,
much love and respect. You got
17 years ago, hats off to you. But shit, we've been on you since Charlene or Darlene or whatever. So yeah, you've been choosing. He's been picking them, right? At this point, you got to remember, this is my maybe third or fourth time meeting Ice.
Okay.
All of the times it's significant to him. So I don't even think he would. I've been to the house on, he used to have this beautiful.
Crazy part about this time is while we were recording this album, when Ice got there, he still had long hair. And during the process of recording the album, he showed up one time at the studio and the nigga had cut his shit off. He's like, what the fuck? Like, this is when that shit happened. Like, Ice-T cut his hair off. I'm talking to him like, yo, man, the fuck made you do that? And the nigga said, it's the final level of the game, homie. We gotta level this shit up. It's like, I feel you. But yeah, that was right. That was when the nigga cut his hair and shit during this session.
Beautiful house in Hollywood where, like, On the Edge and Shark Tanks, all the stuff that we've seen on MTV Cribs, the elevator. I've been there because he's been friends with Black Silver for a while. They also did an album called The Analog Brothers with Black Silver, Kool Keith, Mike Live, and Ice-T. So this is a guy. You see what I'm saying? But again, I'm not his guy, right? Okay. I'm just a guy who's helping shit flow better, in terms of what I do. So we get to the session. I'm there. I believe Bionic, the engineer, is there. That's the dude who produced the album. Black Silver is there. I believe Fax, rapper Fax, 2000 Crows, shout out to him. And a couple other people, not that many people, and a rapper from Chicago named Griffin, right? We're in there, and we are proud of them. If you watch the interview, he's saying they like, nobody want to hear you, da-da-da. Because I'm a producer of artists when they're in the booth.
I wasn't doing none of that shit. I wasn't in there for that shit. I miss that whole your dick ski.
Not on the beat. I'm a producer of artists when they're in the booth. So most times, if an artist is in the booth, I'm giving them energy to just pull something else out of the moment that we can catch in the recording, right? But we're all kind of joking, you know, and he's in there also joking back and forth, but we're in the studio. You're in the booth.
Yeah.
You're in the booth.
Yeah.
This dude's already recording. And a matter of fact, I believe Bionic, the engineer, has stepped away at this point. And the rapper Griffin, who could engineer a little bit because he's also friends with the producer, you learn.
I was engineering too and shit, but at that time, I think it was the other way around. I left, and Bionic was still in there and shit for this part, but because I wasn't there for this part. Like, because I wasn't there for this part, but so we had him doing the drops because it was for promo shit. It was some radio station shit. Shout outs to everybody that was on the album. Just standard shit just for a promo run. And I was gonna take all that shit and chop it up, send it to who was supposed to get it. But we were doing the mixtape, and I had to go to Chicago to get the mixtape done. So I just had the shit bounce down. Whatever he did, bounce that shit down, put it on the CD, took it to Chicago. I fly to Chicago, I get to the crib. I sit down with Cisco to do the mixtape, and we pull out the shit. Now, on there is all the drops and all the shit he got. Cisco drops and all kind of shit for the mixtape. And then it's the cuts of this Soulja Boy shit that he's talking. Now, I wasn't in the room for when they're like shotting the nigga and shit. So, like, the control room where they were wasn't being recorded. The only shit that's on tape is what Ice-T was doing, his responses. So I didn't hear the shit from the control room. All I'm hearing is this nigga snapping about Soulja Boy and shit. And we're doing a mixtape. I'm in Chicago now. So we listening, going through to get shit to drop to put throughout the mixtape. And we hearing this shit like, yo, I'm the marketing director. I'm looking at this shit from a marketing standpoint. I'm trying to sell an album. I'm trying to push a project. I'm trying to put Ice-T's name back in the lexicon. It's been a while since he dropped some shit. So I'm like, yo, we're definitely putting this shit on the mixtape. Like, and we didn't put it at the beginning of the mixtape, but after the mixtape was done, that shit was in there. I think it was towards the end. I did some snippet promos for YouTube. YouTube had just started taking off and shit. So I did some promo snippets for YouTube, and one of the snippets started off with the Soulja Boy clip. I put that shit out. 24 hours after I put that shit out, man, shit went fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, you around.
Records itself to this day, type of thing. I think he starts recording this. Right. So, Ice is in there. We'll play the clip. Matter of fact,
Play the clip down.
boom. So he says that.
Yeah.
Right. And we're laughing. We're saying the same thing. And for sure, I know he's only slightly maybe seems aware of who Soulja Boy is. I know he doesn't know who Hurricane Chris is. We're just throwing names and talking shit. There's other names.
I gotta say, like, I think he knew who Hurricane Chris was, because when I got the promos, like the end of that shit, he said after the Soulja Boy rant, he was like, "And Hurricane Chris, you can't be wearing the beads and shit in your head, nigga." And that's when he started laughing. That's when it appeared to be like a joke and they was playing and shit. But he definitely addressed like Hurricane Chris's wardrobe or some shit. So I had an idea that he knew who the fuck dude was.
That didn't get caught on the recording, but we just talking shit, right?
And it sounds as if nobody else is talking to him. It sounds like he's just going off.
He's in the booth.
He's just in the booth, just going off.
And that's one of the things I think can show that this whole story that he's telling that I'm telling is true, because why would he be sitting there saying that to a microphone unprovoked, right? He's in there, in the booth, soundproof, and you don't hear us. If he was having that conversation with people, you would hear the people.
Right.
If it was just, whatever, I don't know. But so he's making his jokes, we're joking. He's like, all right, cut that out, let's get to it. Boom. He records the drop. Great drop. We wrap that up. They send me what I need, which is the actual drop.
Mm-hmm.
I go send it to my people. They play it on the radio. Shout out to them. and we all in preparation. We leave there in preparation to have a good show. The next morning, no, not the next morning. So a couple of days pass. Griffin goes back to Chicago. He's from Chicago. He goes back to Chicago.
Hop on the plane, back home.
Back home, right. One day in the morning, I wake up, I go to the, it's one of those like movie moments, bro. I wake up, yawn, sunlight coming through my window.
Yeah.
Roll up, go to the computer. The house is asleep. Son is asleep. Wife at the time is asleep. Go on the computer. The first thing pop up. It's like the algorithm was like,
Hey, check this out.
oh, shit.
All I can see is Dave Chappelle. Fresh in the morning.
Soulja Boy is Ice-T, you old ass nigga, you decrepit ass nigga, you trying to. He got two boys behind him, two of his partners, and he giving them young jokes. You know, you can't fight no
funny little young nigga, man.
He also the first person to probably hit elders with the 1900 style jokes. Hit the young old niggas.
He was born in 58.
Oh my gosh. He's giving them all the young bars that he can, right?
He gave him the blues.
And at the same time, to his credit, he tried to push in some respect there too. He's like, no, honestly, I know you a legend and all that, but why you could tell he was confused too. Like, why you wake up fucking with the youngest king out here? Like, he's at this point, like, Soulja Boy was Jeffrey off of Game of Thrones.
Right, yeah.
He was like,
Joffrey.
What is it, Joffrey? I'll kill him.
Yeah.
So,
what I will say is, from a marketing standpoint, I thought that this shit could have been a dope moment to right the ship, to kind of put the kibosh on a lot of shit that happened with the mumble rap era and a lot of shit that came after that, because there was no bridge between the generations and shit. And this moment could have served as that, to open a dialogue on some shit, to not necessarily hit niggas with a rule book, but like on some like, you know, this is how you do that, where there's like veterans in the NBA that teach young niggas how to play the game and shit, where a lot of in hip hop there wasn't that, because there was this big ass divide, especially at this time. And I thought it could have been used as a platform to kind of explore those conversations and shit. But the whole situation kind of went left. We were getting calls, and Ice-T, for his reasons and shit, he didn't want to entertain any of that shit. So like all the interviewers were calling and they wanted to ask him about that shit, and he was like, yo, I'll do whatever interview, but if they want to talk about the Soulja Boy shit, I'm not answering none of that shit. Like, I'm not. And that's what they wanted to talk to him about. So none of those interviews happened, but it was like a good 10 to 15 major fucking interviews lined up to discuss that situation, which in turn could have promoted the album and definitely was a springboard for the project, which was a marketing goal. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't think I would have done that shit different, because it was the job. And like, shit, the video had 3 million views in a matter of days at a time when YouTube wasn't doing that. Like, that shit hadn't happened like that yet. So this was the first viral moment for real on some internet shit. And I thought it was a moment we could have taken advantage of. But again, like, Ice-T called my phone. He's pissed off that this shit happened. Like, it's not funny, but it's funny to look back on. Like, it's Ice-T on my fucking phone pissed off. I'm just like, shit. And it was because like something might have happened to that boy. Like, niggas was trying to turn that shit into a physical thing, and he wanted that to not be it. So whatever he could do to squash that and not put any fuel on it, he was trying to do that. And I understood that part of it too, where the marketing side of me was like, yo, we could, this moment we could take advantage of and create this conversation. But at the same time, we don't want it to have to be another conversation because this shit got physical or something happened to somebody on some dumb shit. So that shit got shut down.
We still haven't shot the video yet. We just were doing the drop, right? So but this video drops the day we're going to film the music video for Chevy 6'4".
Okay.
6'4". I want to say 6'4" so people can find it, but I don't.
6'4".
My regional, right?
Chevy 6'4" video was dope. Shout out to Prof. You did your thing on that shit. Shit, it's gonna be a part 3 of this. This video is long as hell, and I don't want it to. Whatever. So part 3 coming though.